Hey designers, it's Quaker from Akrivi, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use Logo Grid Generator in Gridit 3.0. So when you install Akrivi Gridit, to open it, you go to Illustrator and you want to do Windows, Extensions, Akrivi Gridit. When you click that, then you'll see it's opened. I clip my extensions to the side. So you can see the different grid components. We have anchors, handles, outlines, and grid lines. To generate a construction grid, you want to use the selection tool and you want to select the logo. You also want to ensure the logo is grouped. So you can see when I select it once, everything selects. To do this, you can just hover over everything and press Alt and G to group everything, or you can right click and click group. Mine's grouped already, so it says ungroup. When that's grouped, you will be able to just generate one component or everything. So if I want to generate anchors, I can click anchors to generate, handles to generate, outlines, generate. Now you can see it is more visible. And lastly, grid lines, and that generates. So you can see the construction grid is created. A more efficient way, of course, select the logo and just click generate all. So now we instantly have our construction grid. Now, if we wanted to customize this construction grid, of course, you just open the customize tab and you can see our live sliders are now implemented. So let's make this more visible. Let's turn this white and let's increase the scale of the anchors. And as you increase, you'll be able to see the size of each anchor getting bigger, and doing the same for the handles. And in terms of outline, you can see again, we have the stroke options, but we don't have scale because it's just the outline of the logo. So we can make it thicker or we can make it thinner. And then for grid lines, we can again make it thinner or thicker, and this helps with visibility. So now I'm going to show you how to use the preference tab in Logo Grid Generator. What you want to do is open the preference tab and you can see a few settings. We have Gridlines Sensitivity, circular trajectories, and a few more settings afterwards. So what Gridlines Sensitivity does is determine what grid lines to display based on the angles within the logo. So as you can see, the default setting is 1. So if I go ahead and generate this, you can see how the grid lines are displayed. However, if I generate another version to compare, so let's generate that again using the setting on 1 sensitivity. And now we generate this again on a sensitivity of 0. You can see there are fewer grid lines, especially there are no diagonal grid lines whatsoever. So based on how many angles your logo has, you can customize the sensitivity to see how it reacts. And lastly, if we was to just again compare, put the grid line sensitivity to the max, you can see there are a few more grid lines than the initial default setting. You can see there is a lot more vertical grid lines, and that is based on the grid line sensitivity of increasing it to 2. So now I have a logo here that I want to show you how to use the circular trajectory settings. So currently is off, and I'm just going to turn this on. And now this is on, you can see we have this slider here. We have different levels. We have -30, -15, 0, 15, and 30. So let's bring this to the middle. Circular trajectories works the best on a geometric logo. If the logo is organic or there are a lot of curves, then it picks up everything and then it can just generate a whole load of circles. So you want to be designing something minimal to get the best results. If I click generate, you can see it completes the circular trajectory over there, and it's pretty simple. There isn't many other shapes that it needs to complete. It was literally just these 2 shapes. But of course you can increase and reduce it. So if you undo everything, then you can test out different sensitivities. So if I do generate, you can see now circles start to overlap because it's just creating more possible circular grids. Depending on your logo, you want to experiment with different circular trajectories. And lastly, we have a circles count. So this goes hand in hand with the circular trajectories sliders. So what I would recommend is, again, depending on your logo, experiment with all of these settings to see what gives you the best result. And finally, we have the reset button, which is in the top right. So if I click this, what this does is restart all of the settings that have been created, mainly within the customize tab. So all of this is restarted. So if I want to go back to default settings, if I think these handles are too big, or if I've messed up the settings, I just restart and everything restarts. If you run into any issues, use the link below to visit our help center for quick solutions. And if you still need help, you can reach out to us through our support form. Thank you for watching.